Hi there folks, it's another wonderful Friday and we're out there checking out another owner's car, and this one today is very special, belongs to a very good friend of mine, and it's a car from a culture that we all know about but we rarely get to hear from. So I'm here with Mario Dias and his amazing Honda Civic. Hello,
hey,
Mario.
How are you? You okay?
Good to see you. So everybody knows about Hondas, everybody makes fun of them. And you have a pretty nice one here. What's the story with this car? This is actually a family car, isn't it?
Yes, we've actually had this since in 1999.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, we've actually cherished this car throughout the family. And
then you've gone and ruined it.
well, some of them say, but then again, it's still unique in its own way.
Okay.
And well, compared to the other Hondas, I'd say it's still got its own touch and feel to it.
So you basically took what with your family car before, which was a very, very nice sort of 98, 99 Civic?
It's a 99, yes. It's a
It was,
99.
I mean, there's a picture of you here with this car where you were like a child, a tiny child when you went to Indian high school.
Yes.
And now you've converted it into a sort of semi-race car. It takes off for track days and things.
Yes, I do a few track days in the car as well. But over the years, it's been progressing.
It's a project, isn't it?
It's a project. It's a really long project, and I'm not sure on when it's going to actually end.
Yeah.
But something like this in the family, it's still growing and it's still...
That's awesome. That's an amazing story. I mean, a lot of these cars, people, you can't just buy these things. You got to build them. And, you know, it takes a while. It takes about 10 to 15 years.
Exactly.
So, 99 Civic, and now it's a spoon type replica. What does that mean?
I would say it's more of a Type R converted project. But
so, what's the Type R for people who don't know what Type Rs are?
A Type R is kind of one of the sports Hondas from...
That's when they still used to make sports cars.
Yeah, and they still do. But yeah, I mean, it's a famous DC2 Honda Integra Type R engine into the car.
Yeah.
And it's doing pretty well. So it's really famous into the Type R world, but it's also famous into the Civic world, where
and it's famous in your world because this was your dad's car, it was your sister's car.
It was my
and
sister's
now
car.
This used to be used by his sister. Now look what he's done to it. It's turned into a race car. I think let's take a look at that engine, shall we?
Right.
So this is Mario's Civic, and let's run through all the highlights. It's got a Type R motor in here.
It's got a Type R motor.
What is that, B18?
It's a B18 C5, proper DC2 Integra.
180-ish horsepower?
Around that much, yes.
8,000 RPM, was it 9,000 RPM?
It's around there as well.
8 to 9,000 RPM.
8 to 9,000, I think.
So it's got a Koyorad radiator. It's got a massive whopping great intake. Look at the size of this thing.
They usually have a saying for that, but I'm not going to say it on camera. But I'm sure
who makes
the Honda
this
guys
intake?
get
It's
it.
pretty cool.
It's actually done by APR or something, but
Can't even remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been years.
Skunk Tube Racing.
Skunk Tube front and rear.
Samco hoses. I remember Samco. Everybody has Samco
Everybody
hoses.
has the Samcos.
And it's got what appears to be socks on top of the brakes.
A few small little touches here and there, yeah. A torque damper.
What's a torque damper?
It's really, I mean, it's just used really when you're shifting gears. So
the engine doesn't move around.
Exactly. So
does it have very stiff motor mounts?
A little bit. It's got the has ports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this thing is pretty rigid then.
Little bit since the start, but again, it's a very mild build compared to the other guys what they do. But
let's look at I think so. It's a suspension. What's the suspension? Ground control suspension. You said you can't really see it because the car is so low.
I've got the ground control.
So what does that mean?
Well, it's actually a mixture of IBAC and Koni shocks.
Yeah.
And they are both completely adjustable, but it does really well. I mean, I've had it more than 5 years now, and no problems whatsoever. So that's pretty good as well.
Look at the conversion, because you converted the lugs as well. The actual PCD is different as well.
Yes, I've got the same DC2 Integra Type R complete brake system.
These lovely rotor wheels which need a bit of a paint, I think. These actually is race car wheels. People can't see it, but you used to use this when you were racing, because you used to be a racer.
Yes, I was racing for the UAE Touring Car Championship.
Did you ever win?
Yes.
Oh, fair enough. Excellent. We have a race winning champion. And these very, very sticky Nitto tires, which do not look very legal.
They don't, but they do get past, which I'm lucky about. So
it's very low, isn't it? You see how low it is. It's incredibly low. How do you go over speed humps?
Well, usually most of the speed humps, I mean, I get away with it.
Yeah.
But there are a few that I have to scrape now and then.
All right.
But it's worth it. So
a little bit of wear, I have to say.
A little bit of wear since the years.
But it is a 17-year-old car.
Exactly. And I mean,
it's got this what is this?
It's kind of like a roof. I don't know.
It's a reverse roof rake spoiler.
Something.
Which doesn't do anything for a front wheel drive car.
Not much.
And the rest of it's pretty stock. You got a couple of holes here. I think these were...
These were done actually by Honda themselves.
No way.
I swear.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kept them just to show. I mean, it's still original.
Yeah.
And
So they actually had a spoiler here.
I had my original spoiler, and it's still at home. I mean, I've
So why have you
removed
taken it off? You just got this hole for rain to come in.
That's true, but then again, it's never used either. So
You got John Player sticker
Yes,
here, which is not very Honda.
that's not very Honda, but I'm a huge fan of Senna, Ayrton Senna. So I
Isn't
thought,
everybody a fan of Senna?
They are, but well, then again,
So it's pretty cool actually. And this is surely this has been repainted, right?
no, it's not been repainted.
No way, this is the original paint.
This is the original paint
This
since
is a
'99.
17-year-old car, and the paint looks
And
brand new. Absolutely brand new.
I mean, I've been polishing it like twice a month, which is also bad. But
It's also a bad idea, but you know what? It's a really, really nice car. I'm really impressed with it, with the level of detail. It's not too crazy because most Hondas just tend to go mad, and it's like horrible cambered. Mario, where are you coming? Come back in the picture. Horribly overdone cars. They're sitting low. Everybody knows the stereotype, but Mario is not the stereotype. And I think it's now time we get behind the wheel and see if the car lives up to
I think
what
that
you're
sounds
claiming.
as well. I think that sounds pretty good. So
Cool. Let's do that.
Fine. Done.
Okay, so now we're getting a chance to drive it, and I'm really quite pleased here because I've never driven an EK. This is an EK Civic before, except for my mom's car. So Mario, what should you know about this car? It's a Japanese engine implant, right?
It's a Japanese spec 99 Integra Type R.
Yeah.
And well, it's a 5-speed.
5-speed, 180-ish horsepower. So
Around that much. It's mostly stock, and
let's see how it feels like to drive then. Hopefully I put it in the right gear. Yeah, and we're off. And I haven't stalled it, which is usually what happens with the Nissan. Ooh, it's nice and light clutch. Oh, that was a bit gentle.
I've actually just been trying to work on the suspension and just trying to keep or to try and focus on handling more than power of the car. So
it's nice though. It's quite nice. It's it's stiff.
it is stiff.
It is quite stiff. Wow. So this is what people mean about Honda race car handling.
Yeah. The juddering is new, but
The juddering is new.
yeah.
Tell me about this car. Why did you want to build a Honda?
Well, actually, I never actually planned on building it. I mean, it was a car that was chosen by my sister, Kudela. So, I mean, she had it, and as the years passed by, she wanted to get rid of it. So that's when I actually said to her, I mean, I'll keep it now. I mean, let's not let go of it. I mean,
It's a family heirloom.
It's a family thing. So
The family didn't come with these Recaro bucket seats.
no, it didn't.
Yeah.
I actually do all these things step by step. So
You've been doing this little book here. Can you show it to the camera? This book is Mario's book of modifications. I mean, it is filled with pictures of you from when you were a child.
Yes, and when the car was stock itself. So there's a lot of things in the book, step-by-step process from the engine to the gearbox to the body.
What's the final drive on this car? It's revving quite high at 5/5 gear. It's like 3,500. Is that normal?
It is.
So what's the final gear on it?
I think it goes up to. It stays at 3. It stays at 3,000.
Yeah.
But it can go much higher.
Let's get some beans. Let's see how it seems.
Just keep going, keep going.
When does VTEC kick in? Eventually, right?
Eventually. Are you on 4th?
Yeah. I'll just do it gently.
Okay.
There's some camels. Oh, it's nice though. I mean, it's classic. I got such good visibility. That's what you don't get in modern cars.
And it responds very well. I mean, to your turning and stuff like that. So.
I'm just going around this U-turn here, so let's just see what it's like. This used to be a lot worse here now, but now they've actually turned this into like a proper road. Before it was much worse.
Okay.
Let's give it some beans.
Keep going.
Oh, it goes up to 8,000, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell the red line, but boy, once you give it some beans.
Once the VTEC kicks in, it's a totally different car.
Yeah, but it's a very small window of VTEC.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I see where you can hide it.
It's totally different on first gear, so it's much.
These are fun. I'm going to avoid the water. Now the seat's clicked in.
I think I'd rather you go in the water than the stones. Just stay away from the stones.
Classic VTEC. flat. Suspension is actually really good. The ride's a little bit stiff. It's a little bit, but you know what? I have been in worse cars. So it's a car that can actually track with. The ride's pretty decent. But we just can splash water left and right.
It's okay. It's a bit noisy due to the tires, but
it is a bit noisy. These are Nito like drag radials.
Yes, exactly. So they're kind of like the semi-slicks, but when you need it, it's there.
I like this. This is the classic Honda thing where you just have to like give it the beans. It's so much fun. It's a little go-kart.
But you can really feel.
Does it get much more? So what is the VTEC around 6,000, 6.5?
Yeah, it kicks in around that much, but it goes really all the way till 8.
Yeah.
So
till 8?
Till 8,000, yes. So you can push it.
You can?
Yep.
Well, it's your car, so this is just a taster. We're not doing a track drive.
That's true.
What's the exhaust on this thing?
It's a stock actually.
No way.
Change it, but
no way. It's not stock exhaust, is it?
It's stock.
Oh my
I was told I will get a few more horsepower. After getting it changed.
Yeah.
Never had the time to. But it's in the process.
And these tires are howling like crazy.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like we're about to take off. But it's nice though. It's a really nice example. And you know what? It's not too crazy. It's not too stiff.
Exactly.
I'm not seeing dancing lights. You know what I mean? It's not like
that's what I stick away from. So just focusing on handling. It's got enough power.
Handles nicely. So it's very, very benign. It's very. It doesn't understeer too much. It actually seems to be quite neutral. Does the tail come out at all?
I've never actually.
Never had the tail out. Never pulled the handbrake?
Never have.
We're
No.
not going to do it today.
I'll never do it. No, I don't think I will.
This is more like it. It's a nice gearbox. It's a very nice Type R gearbox.
It's a Type R gearbox.
You just want to thrash it. So how do you normally drive it? Like your pants on fire, or are you like a sedate Christian sort of motorist?
No, I drive it slow most of the time until.
Thank you for letting me open it up.
No, it's fine. It's okay. There's a lot more you can do. So.
It's not my car.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not my car.
But
so,
I use it.
Very grippy though. The tires are excellent. It feels stuck to the road. This car feels like you just lean on the front end, and the car just doesn't so much rotate. It just tracks through like a four-wheel drive car.
Wherever you pointed it, really sticks on track.
Yeah. So what are your comments on track? Because you're a race car driver, so.
Well, the car does fine.
Yeah.
In terms of this car, but for the track car, of course it's more stiffer.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it, so it's much more bare. But compared to something like this, this is pretty good in terms of street driving, on track. So it does well. It does pretty fine.
But you don't even drive it. It's kept up, covered up in your house most of the time.
True. So
that's lovely though. It's absolutely lovely. Whatever you done with the suspension, I like it. And because there's not a huge amount of torque steer, you can just pretty much 7,000 RPM. What a joy. Just what a joy to drive. And you're really driving.
You really get to feel the proper.
You get to feel how these cars are. And that's really the point of it, isn't it?
Exactly. And I'm told, the sedans are a lot more better in handling than the coupes.
The coupes, the hatchbacks.
The hatchbacks.
Well, it feels very light. How heavy is this?
The car would weigh, I think around 900 to 1,000.
That's it with everything in? Dry or wet?
With pretty much everything in. You can add a few more, of course, to that. But it's around that much because my race car would be like around 800 to a 900.
Oh, the brakes are not bad.
The brakes need to be skipped, yes.
Yeah, the brakes are not perfecto, but you've got such amazing tires, it kind of hides a lot of sins.
Exactly. So you don't really notice much of the brakes, but then again, yes, the brakes need to be skipped.
This is fun. I don't have this in my pickup. I really don't have this in my pickup.
It's very different, yeah.
I miss light, small, fun cars, with around 100, 200 horsepower. That's all you honestly need to have fun. You don't need massive turbos, you don't need massive V8s. You just need a car that you love, that you want a story with.
This does the job.
Yeah. It's great, absolutely great. what's next? What are you going to do next to it?
As I remembered about the exhaust, most probably I'll try and focus on the exhaust. So, but most probably stiffer suspension, I thought.
Yeah. Stiffer than this?
I think I should go a bit stiffer. I mean, the suspension is pretty old now, so.
This get regassed.
Not.
It feels fine to me.
It feels good.
You just want to spend some money on it, haven't you?
I don't know. I mean, this car, I always told myself I should actually stop, but it just keeps going on and going on. And the thing is about me, I mean, it's about getting small things that make a difference. So I'm just trying to be focusing on that. So.
Yeah. I'm not in fifth and not third. No, it's a very it's a
fifth.
Wow. So I'm doing about 100 and something, and it's about 4,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Very, very hot. So it's not a good car to go in Abu Dhabi every day then.
It's okay if you're okay with the noise.
This gearbox is superb. Superb, this gearbox. Oh man, the handling's nice. It's just so predictable. What an absolute joy of a car. I wish every car was like this. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting next to you. I think it's just, you take this out, you have it, thrash. Oh, what a joy. I don't want to give it back. Can I keep it?
Of course not.
You swine. I thought we were friends. Well, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you very much, Mario.
Thanks so much, Imticham.
You are an absolute hero.
Thanks.
I will now return to your car, to you, and we'll now go inspect any damage at the front.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for watching. Okay, Mario, we're done with the video. Nobody's recording. We're just having a look now at it. Tell me what it was. What was this actually called?
Okay, fine. Well, it's a secret, but then again, it's called also a whale penis.
A whale what?
Exactly. So, Google it.
I'm not Googling whale penis. This may be YouTube, but we have standards. Okay, that'll never make it into the video. It'll never make it into the video, so don't worry about it.